Hi, welcome to Waldorf High School.
We are called the Waldorf High School of Massachusetts Bay, and our students come from all over the area. They come from all different parts of the greater Boston area. And the idea with Waldorf education is to support students throughout their development so that they have a really good foundation for a love of learning and lifelong learning.
As you walk around our school, you'll see not only student artwork on nearly every wall and every surface, but also the spaces themselves have often been designed and redesigned and enhanced by students as part of their educational experience. At the beginning of the day, the Waldorf main lesson is a 90-minute period of kind of intensive study, and it's a required class. Many of our classes are electives, so we have a lot of choices and a lot of freedom.
And in this main lesson, students and the teacher are delving deeply into one subject.
The main lesson is about putting your life in the context of all of history and the world. So they're often history or science courses.
During the main lesson, students create a main lesson book. So they're looking at primary sources for their research. The teacher is teaching about the subject, and then they create a main lesson book, which is a combination of writing and of artwork. Some students are going to do more writing, some students do more of the artwork, but it is a really in-depth study of one subject.
The students came up with this creative idea of showing the evolution of vertebrates through a chimera that evolves from fish into mammals and birds. Another year, we did this wonderful little whimsical mythological vertebrates, and they did research from different cultures about mythological creatures that you could create. The same project can become something completely different in the hands of a different group of students. After we have the main lesson together as a group, we then have two shorter focused skill-based classes. So you might have math and English, or you might have American Studies and Spanish. And those classes usually are in smaller groups. So my math class might typically be 5 to 10 students. And those classes are a combination of individually paced and individualized work and group collaboration and creative projects. So after the main lesson and a couple short classes, we have an hour-long lunch. It's open campus, so you can go to the grocery store, you can get some takeout, you can eat outside, or you can eat in the main lesson room. The entire afternoon is all electives. You actually get to take a lot of electives, so it's not like you're loading up your schedule and then you have room for one elective and you can't get into the one you want. You can take things that you really are passionate about over and over again. So you might be in the fine arts studio every year. You might be in the science lab every year. But there's also room in your schedule to try something a little bit different. So electives are usually in two different formats. One is studios. So we have the fine arts studio, where we do painting and sculpture and ceramics and photography. We have the fiber arts studio, where students do knitting, crocheting, sewing. They'll make quilts and blankets. They sometimes do weaving. They'll do felting is very popular. There's the design studio, where we do architectural design, fashion design, technical engineering, and often a combination of all those things. And students might be found redesigning part of the school or a room in the school and then implementing it and building it. They might be building a robot or a costume robot or a piece of furniture or a pair of shoes. The heart and soul of what we do here at Waldorf is creating together as our main mode of learning, and that's true throughout the whole day. In addition to the studio courses, we have a full range of science electives. So Science Projects Lab is where students can really dig in and do an in-depth project of their own design that will involve often designing their own equipment to do the testing or designing their own experiment to explore. What really separates Waldorf education, and Waldorf High School in particular, from other schools are two things. That we're learning through creative work is our primary mode of learning. And we're creating an environment that's lower in stress and where that allows us to go deeper into subjects.
They're learning how to learn really well and deeply, and how to think about things, how to question things. And it's within an environment where they can truly get to understand who they are as a person, what are their strengths, what are their challenges.
So everything we do at Waldorf, from the size of the school, which is very small, to the kind of creative work that we engage in all day long, to the way we support and give time and space to the human relationships that make up the educational experience, allows students to really enter into what they're doing in a way that makes it much more memorable, much deeper in learning, and much more enjoyable as a life experience.